Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about something many students care about, how to prepare for the TOEIC test. TOEIC is short for Test of English for International Communication. Many companies and universities use TOEIC scores. A high TOEIC score can help you get a job, to get promoted, to get graduated from university or study abroad. But many students feel TOEIC is difficult. They say things like, I study a lot, but my score did not improve, or I don't know how to prepare. The truth is, TOEIC is not only about English ability, it is also about task strategy. Yes, strategy. If you understand the task format and practice the right way, your score can improve much faster. Today, I will share 10 practical TOEIC preparation tips with you. These tips are based on what successful TOEIC learners usually do. Let's begin. Tip number 1. You have to understand TOEIC test in structure. Before preparing for the test, you must first understand the test itself. TOEIC has two main sections, listening and reading. The total score is 990 points. Listening section includes 495 points, while reading section is 495 points as well. The test has 200 questions, 100 for listening questions and 100 reading questions. Listening time is about 45 minutes, and reading time is about 75 minutes. Many students make a big mistake. They only study vocabulary and grammar, but they do not understand and they don't study the task format. This is a big mistake. If you understand the structure of a test, you can answer questions more efficiently and effectively. Knowing the test is the first step to improving your score. And then let's talk about some important tips on learning and improving your TOEIC. The first one, build TOEIC vocabulary. Vocabulary extremely important for TOEIC, but not all vocabulary is equally important. TOEIC uses many business-related words. For example, meeting, schedule, appointment, deadline, shipment, conference, invoice, contract. These words appear very often. Instead of memorizing random words, focus on TOEIC-related vocabulary. Try to learn 10 to 20 new words every day, but do not only memorize the word. You have to learn phrase or sentence. For example, schedule a meeting is better than learning only schedule. Meeting a deadline is much better than learning only deadline. And sign a contract is much better than just learning the word contract. This helps you understand vocabulary in context. Remember, in context. And then the second tip is to practice listening every day. Many students think listening is the hardest part, but in fact, listening improves with regular exposure to English conversation and listening. Try to listen to English every day. Every 15 minutes daily can make a difference. You can listen to English podcast, YouTube interviews, English news, TOEIC listening practice, English magazines in Taiwan, and so on. But here's an important rule. Choose material that is slightly difficult but understandable. I'll say that again. Please choose the material that is slightly difficult but understandable. If this is too easy, you will not improve. If it is too difficult, you will feel frustrated, right? So the best level is when you understand about 70%, as we have mentioned. This helps your listening ability grow steadily. When you read English magazine, for example, always remember, listen first, but do not read first. A lot of people, they read first and then they turn on the video to listen, right? This is the wrong step. Always remember, listen first before you read the articles. That's important. Okay, listen first. And the next tip is to learn to predict answers. You have to learn to predict answers. Prediction is a powerful test strategy. In TOEIC listening, questions often follow patterns. They have certain patterns. For example, you hear, when is the meeting scheduled? You already know the answer will probably be a time because that's about schedule, right? A date or a schedule. So, before hearing the answer, your brain is ready. Prediction helps you process information faster. Good test takers always predict possible answers. So when you're taking a TOEIC test, always remember to read the questions before you listen to the test. That's important. Read the questions before you listen to the dialogue or the monologue. The next tip is to improve your reading speed. Reading speed is very important in TOEIC because we have 100 questions and within only 75 minutes. Many students cannot finish the reading section. They run out of time. Why? Because they read too slowly. TOEIC reading is not about understanding every word. It is about finding information quickly. So that is what we call the cluster reading. You have to read in clusters. Practice scanning. Scan for clusters like phrases, important cluster of words with certain specific meaning. Scanning means looking for keywords, cluster of keywords. For example, names. You have to scan for names and dates, numbers, locations. Train your eyes to move quickly across the text and search for clusters of words. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is efficiency and effectiveness. And the next tip is to understand common grammar patterns. TOEIC grammar questions often test common patterns. For example, they test you about verb tenses, subject-verb agreement, prepositions, articles, and so on. Example, the manager blah 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 the report yesterday. The possible answer may be submit, submitted, submitting, and submits. So you see the same word repeated with different tenses. So as you can see, this question would test you about your understanding of tenses, okay, your understanding of time, usage, and grammar. Because of the word yesterday, as you can see, the correct answer is submitted. Understanding these patterns helps you answer quickly. You do not need to analyze every sentence deeply. Often the answer becomes obvious when you recognize the grammar structure. And the next step, do not translate everything. It's important. Don't translate everything. Many learners translate English into their native language. For you, Chinese, right? This slows them down. TOEIC requires fast comprehension. You have to understand very fast and a very short and limited time. So instead of translating every sentence, try to understand the general meaning. For example, when reading an email, you have to ask yourself, who wrote this email? What is the purpose of this email? And what action is required after reading this email? This approach helps you process information more efficiently. The next step, practice with real TOEIC test. Practice using real TOEIC style test. Many students study vocabulary and grammar, but never practice real test. This is like preparing for a basketball game, but never playing basketball. So practice tasks can help you learn the time management, the question patterns, and the task pressure. You should practice under real test conditions. So always remember, it would be better for you to buy a guidebook in the bookstore, or you can borrow the book, the TOEIC preparation guide, in the library and try to take the real test. Okay. You do not have dictionary and you have limited time, right? So you have to practice without dictionary and within limited time. This prepares your brain for the real exam if you can take the mock test. And the next tip, to manage your time, it is also important. Okay, time management is critical in taking TOEIC test. For example, in the reading section, do not spend too much time on one single question. If you cannot answer it quickly, skip it. Move to the next question, but remember when you mark your answer on the answer card, you have to remember to leave the space for the question that you haven't answered, okay? Or you will mess up the numbers. Later, you can return if you have time. Always remember, even every question has the same value. Do not lose many easy points because you are stuck on the difficult question. Okay, that's not worthwhile. It doesn't worth it. So always remember, don't lose many easy points because you are stuck on one difficult question. And the next tip, learn from your mistakes. After practice test, analyze your mistakes. Ask yourself, why was the answer wrong? Was it vocabulary problem, grammar problem, or misunderstanding of a sentence? Learning from mistake is more valuable than simple doing more questions. Mistakes show you what you need to improve, so that's important. The next tip, to study consistently. Consistency is the key to improvement. Many students study TOEIC only before the test. This is not effective. Instead, please build a daily study habit. For example, 20 minutes for vocabulary, 20 minutes for listening test, and 20 minutes for reading practices. 1 hour per day can produce significant improvement over time. Small daily progress becomes large progress. So today, we discuss how to prepare for the TOEIC test. Let's review the key ideas. Understand the test format is important. Practice listening regularly. Improve reading speed. Learn grammar patterns. Avoid translating everything. Practice with real tests. Manage your time. Learn from mistakes. Study consistently. Please remember, TOEIC success is not only about English ability. It is about smart preparation. If you study strategically and practice regularly, your score will improve. Thank you for your watching and good luck on your TOEIC test.